Double R Flo-Town, episode number 8. We made it.
We've been talking about this since we started the podcast, and we are now here, episode 8. You'd think we'd have made a bigger deal out of it. It's just us.
I wish we would have gotten our families to come and done cookies and something fun, you know?
Is it too late to do that?
Izzy, what do you think? Could we make that happen? Izzy, you made it happen. How'd you do this?
This is incredible.
Thanks for coming, guys.
We said we should have done something for episode 8, and well, dadgum if the
Here
family...
we go.
We told our wives, I'm sure, Izzy, you did the same thing. If they stay with us, we're going to take them places.
And look.
Well, we have taken them to a podcast studio.
Yeah, congratulations. Thank y'all for coming. This is awesome. This is awesome. This is 80% of our viewership right here.
That's right. If only we had our moms here, we would have everybody.
Yeah. We'll get them here next. Definitely. All right. Are we ready to eat cookies or what? I think that's really how we got them here.
Okay. Yeah, the cookies are definitely what got them here. But before we eat these incredible cookies, shout out Mama Mia, Lisa Pitsley. Phenomenal job.
Yeah, those look great.
These are incredible. You can find Mama Mia Baking or Lisa Pitsley on Facebook. She's local, support local business. Great job on the look, Lisa. Now we're going to taste them and see if they're good.
Yeah, let's do it, guys.
All right, pass out the cookies.
Hold on, I want to get something straight. My main man here, you kind of said he didn't rock out a tennis tournament, but I think we need to talk about the last few matches he's had.
Yeah, do we call this the apology
section? This is the apology section.
So, Tate, you've been kind of mad at me because, one, I make you watch the podcast.
Yeah, sorry.
You're not a fan of watching the podcast. But, two, you were ticked off with me because I kind of roasted you talking about how you weren't a good tennis player.
Yep.
But then,
more than that,
but then we've had 2 tennis tournaments, and he won both of them.
Nice. That's awesome. And you know what I told him? I was like, well, let's see who wins. I bet he could beat you.
And there's different stages of parenting.
Yeah.
And it's a stage where you let your kid win. Then it's the stage where you try to win, but it's 50-50. And then there's a stage where they're going to beat your butt. And we're at the stage where he beats my butt now.
Really?
Yeah, it's bad.
Let him win every once
And
in a
Robert,
while.
you know me. I am competitive. I get mad if I think about losing.
he skipped the stage of letting me win.
Oh, yeah.
We ain't going to make no wussy boy out of you.
I didn't say it was bad.
All you do is eat cookies.
When I'm playing tennis against Callaway, I'll be 65 years old, so I don't know what'll be happening.
There you go. Hey, but this was fun. How about this party?
Thank you guys so much for coming.
Episode 8.
Well, that was fun.
Thanks, guys, for showing up.
Yeah. All right, what else we got? What else is going on, Reeves? What else? What's big picture? I'm glad we're back in the studio. That was fun, kind of going out and talking with people, but it feels good to be back at home base.
Yeah, first of all, I think we have to mention the last 2 episodes were really fun. Being on site with Buddy Miles, Jeffries Creek, an undiscovered treasure of Florence, and then going with Coach Marlowe to South Florence and hearing about him. Just an exceptional guy. We're blessed to have him. But we are back in the studio. It's you and me, episode number 8. And yeah, let's talk a little bit about what's going on in the real estate market.
Yeah, let's do it. Big picture real estate. It honestly feels a little weird to me, Reeves. It's a little weird.
Well, you and I both know that probably is the single biggest question we get asked on a day-to-day basis. I mean, multiple times a day. Hey, how's the market? In fact, I was with a guy this morning at 5 a.m. That's another story I won't tell right now. But I was with this dude at 5 a.m. and he's like, how's the market doing? I mean, it's just constant. And the answer for me is it feels like it's trying to slow down, but at the same time, we're really busy. When I look at my numbers and I look at the data that I like to use to track how things are going, they're as good as they've ever been. And so like you said, it's just a little weird, Robert. I'm not sure what's going on.
Well, I feel like we are we've really leveled our game up another step. We're getting some really high-end,
Yeah.
nice properties, and that's probably skewing our numbers a little bit because big picture right now, I think buyers are kind of sitting on the sidelines. Everybody's waiting on rates to come down. I think rates will come down a little more, but rates right now 6.5. My brother-in-law just got a VA loan for low sixes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, that's really good. We've got some programs right now where we can get buyers in at a 4.5% rate, for the first year, 5.5%, second year, and then fixed at 6.5%. So rates really aren't the problem. Maybe the public being aware of that is a little bit of a challenge. I think sellers are also struggling a bit with understanding how the market's shifting. And,
yeah.
I've had a few conversations with people wanting to sell their house, and quite honestly, they're expecting a higher number than the market's going to bring right now. And so there's a little bit of a challenge with helping sellers adjust to the slight downturn in price that we know needs to happen.
It's healthy. It needed to happen.
Prices have got to come down.
Yeah.
But buyers are still, I think, sitting on the sideline, waiting a little bit more for prices to come down. They're still thinking interest rate. In fact, I got a text. You asked me about a property that I think you have somebody who'd like to purchase. We sold it last year, and we kind of thought they were going to be selling. But the text response back when I asked, hey, are y'all ready to sell? He said, no, I'm expecting a crash like 2008, and we're going to hold on to it and then build when it becomes really cheap to build. You and I know that level of crash and correction, it may come to other parts of the country.
Yeah.
It's not coming to Florence, but there is a slight correction.
Yeah, and you can get a house built now. I mean, the builders are a little more open to talking about customs, to where when it was crazy, you couldn't even get a custom built unless you just really wanted it badly. So, yeah, I mean, I think inventory levels are still weird too, I would say.
Yeah, they're still low.
Certain inventories are low. And then there's others that, some of the track built homes, or those levels could get a little heavy here quickly.
I mean, we talked about, I think last week, I forget who we were in the conversation with, but I think there's a little bit over 6,000 single family permits in process for Florence County. That is a huge number. I mean, think about 6,000 plus single family homes that are in process to be built over the next 2 years or 5 years.
Those are neighborhoods that are in approval process. So I think if things stay a little slow, I think you'll see some of that drop off.
Yeah.
Like I've got one neighborhood now that's a big one, and it's on the fence. But you let the right things happen, and that it could still happen. And what I'm thinking, Reeves, is, so let's say all 6,000 happen.
Okay.
And I think a lot of them are tract builders, but they're building affordable homes, which we need, which I think Florence could be in position to have affordable housing in a big way for growth. Where other, Charleston, Greenville, the other cities, the beach, they're not going to have that. So we're going to have the housing.
Well, from a national perspective, and it's what we've been talking about, it's one of the reasons we've started this podcast. We are going all in on Florence. We really believe that we are in a position where Florence is, nationally speaking, one of the most attractive places to live, because Greenville, because of the coast, it's been overpriced, because of the Southeast is such a exciting place for people to move to from the Northeast right now. And because our prices are so low, even when the rest of the country might be stagnant or decreasing in volume, we're going to have that flow. So we might need those 6,000 houses.
I think we are. And here, for a while I was like, we're about to be just flooded out. It's not going to be good. But here's what I'm thinking now, Reeves. When Tesla, Amazon, these big companies that are going to grow in the U.S., when they're looking, we've got power, we've got water, and we've got affordable housing, and it's a centrally located. Where else are those? I mean, why would they not come here?
I still go back to my time in Dallas and how Dallas is situated previously around two major cities, Dallas, Fort Worth, and now there's a third city, Frisco, Texas, and it's kind of this three-city mecca. And I still believe Florence, Charleston, and Columbia can be that three-city hub for the state of South Carolina. Columbia and Charleston have done great in growing. We still have a tremendous amount of opportunity, which kind of leads us into another part of what we need to be talking about, and that's the airport.
Yes.
And how the airport fits into the economic viability of Florence.
We got to FlyFlo. Have you seen the billboard they put up?
I was coming home from the beach. You could be home if you would have flown Flo.
That billboard is good.
Those are great billboards. There's one on 20 I've seen. There's
Yep.
one coming home from the beach that I've seen. We've got to do that. Now, to me, honestly, Robert, I booked a plane tickets a few weeks ago, and I tried to fly out of Florence, and there just was no options to
Really?
get from Florence to New Orleans, which is where I was flying. I'm going to the LSU South Carolina football game in October.
Nice.
But it was a challenge. And so it's a little bit like the chicken and the egg. Which comes first?
Yeah.
Do we need the carriers to come in, or do we just have to flood the one carrier that we do have? And I think that's the answer. We've got to get people to fly.
So that's my understanding. There was some federal money for South Carolina airports a year or so ago, and we didn't get it because when they looked at our numbers for Florence, it wasn't there. They're like, this makes no sense to put money in this airport. Let's go put it in these other ones that are growing and benefiting South Carolina. We got to get our numbers up.
Well, what encourages me is, and I didn't get to catch the whole segment, but the Friday morning segment that Greystone sponsors with the Ken Ard Show, the Delegation Hour.
Yes.
Those guys were talking about this, and those are the right guys. They're our politicians. They're the ones who help direct the money and can go find the money. So I'm encouraged that people are talking about it, the right kind of people, and I really hope that we can make this happen. And obviously, there's maybe not a lot that we can do, but if there is anything that you or I could do, we want to be a part of it.
We got to encourage our friends to just fly out of Florence, because when you fly out of Florence and it works great, it's awesome.
It is so good.
I mean, it's amazing, and you would want to do that every time.
And it's interesting to me, the few times I have flown out of Florence, the price really is not different. And especially when you consider driving to Myrtle Beach, driving to Charlotte, driving to Columbia, driving to Charleston, it's cheaper to fly out of Florence if you live in Florence than to go to any of those other places.
I think even the big airports, I'm hearing a lot of delays and flights canceling. I think there's a big picture problem, and one of them is air traffic control people. I think there's a lack of that.
Yeah.
So the right people in town are focused on it.
Yep.
So I'm really hopeful. But what I heard Philip Lowe say on the radio, which scared me, is, look, if we don't get this right, we could lose the airport, which would be horrible.
That would be, it would be devastating. I mean, we've got challenges right now with the battery plant. We don't know if it's coming or going.
Yeah.
We have seen in the real estate market the effect of that already. Again,
Yeah.
the same guy who I was talking to this morning at 5 a.m. had a battery plant guy who was going to be buying his house. Battery plant has shut down, hopefully temporarily, maybe permanently. That guy backed out of buying his house. It's affecting real estate in Florence already.
Yes.
So we need those industries to come. We need a better airport. The good news is we have the land for it. And, we'll see what happens.
I'm still hopeful the battery plant's going to happen. It's a lot of infrastructure there, and the right people are behind that too. But I think people that aren't in the day-to-day real estate game don't understand. That is the one company I've really seen affect the market in a bigger way than one other thing. I mean, there were a bunch of people here for that battery plant already.
Tremendous amount, both on the sales side as well as
rental.
rental side. we've seen an influx of rental availability, which maybe long term is a good thing for Florence because it's going to allow prices on the rental side to come down.
Yeah.
And hey, we own some rental property, but we also know the rent we were getting was crazy
Were
high.
you getting Airbnb battery plant people?
Oh yeah, all the time. We've got, I think, 8 Airbnb units and filled up with battery plant people. Not now. Now, it's people in between homes
Yeah.
who need a short-term stay, or it's a couple of healthcare workers, which has always been a big driver in the Airbnb market in Florence because of the 2 hospitals that we have, and then a few construction workers.
But you kind of filled back up. I mean, you're pretty full.
We're full today.
Right.
We've got a few potential vacancies at the end of the month, and nobody yet has booked those. And so I'm interested to know how long it takes to book them. We've been doing this short-term rental game for about 4 years now. And,
Yeah.
and this last cycle of vacancies was the most difficult to fill in the 4 years we've been doing it.
But overall, I mean, it's been surprising to me to see the demand for Airbnb in Florence.
Yeah, it's there. And I think it's important because I was having this conversation with somebody else yesterday
At
as
4
well.
a.m.?
No, I was sleeping yesterday at 4.
Okay.
But when you say Airbnb, I think people tend to think 1 or 2 night stays.
Yeah.
When I say Airbnb, I'm talking 30 plus days. And so now there is a short term 1, 2, 3 day type stay in the Airbnb market. And that market does exist in Florence because of the amazing quantity of traffic on I-95 and I-20. But I'm thinking more of the 30-day to 90-day short-term stays that, medical workers, construction workers, or people in between houses, that type of user is in need of.
Do you think there's a need? And I've actually I helped this guy buy a really cool piece of property with a bunch of frontage on Black Creek, and he wants to do the treehouse, cool Airbnb vibe deal right off of Interstate. Do you think that would work?
The demand is there 1,000%. It is astonishing to me, the number of cars. And I would just we've done this. I think, Izzy, you were with us.
Yeah.
Like it was a Tuesday afternoon at 2:00 and we stopped in Buc-ee's.
It was Disney World.
It was insane.
With gas pumps.
How crazy it was.
2 p.m. It wasn't lunchtime.
No.
It wasn't later it was a time you shouldn't be busy.
And we were waiting in line to get our brisket sandwich.
Yeah.
So, and that's just as an example of the absolute demand and the traffic that is going through Florence. Think about it. I-95, the middle point is Florence, South Carolina, between New York City and Miami.
Yeah.
Then think about the state of South Carolina. What other city exists in South Carolina directly off of I-95?
We're the biggest city on I-95.
And at the intersection of 20, right?
Right.
So you're also getting traffic coming the other way, right at the intersection between 95 and 20. And potential revenue. How much do you think a place like Buc-ee's brings in on a daily
For
basis?
the county, I think it brings in a ton of
Got to.
county revenue.
It's kind of mind-blowing. And you're right, I-20 is definitely a big part of this. You can get on I-20 and you don't have to make another right or left turn until El Paso, Texas. So that's huge. And then the 95 north-south. So we have got so much potential here.
We really do. We really do. And we've got the right people in place.
Yeah.
And we got the powers to be here are awesome.
Yep.
And so I don't see how we don't continue to grow and do well.
Going back a little bit to real estate, we've got these, in Cedar Creek, Louis Hopkins built homes in the 220 to 240 range, 3-bed, 2-bath.
Those are moving.
They're moving. They haven't stopped moving, even with the battery plant. Those are big time, producers for us right now.
Is that a mix of local and out of town, or is it more out of town people buying those? What are you seeing?
I think we've got all 3 different types of buyers that I've directly worked with. We've got some people coming from out of town.
Yeah.
We've got some people who are looking at it as an investment opportunity and rental property. And then some people, I guess the third buyer is your first-time home buyer who maybe has grown up in Florence, or maybe they haven't, but they're moving to Florence, and this is the perfect place for them to land because it's such superior construction to the big box national builders. I mean, we've got a local builder who's attention to detail, but he's beating them on price.
Yeah.
He's beating them on amenities.
Isn't that so awesome to see?
Well, I hope we can continue it.
We can.
It's
He can.
He
Louis
can. Louis can do it.
Yeah,
Louis
he's
can
got
do
plenty of lots left.
Yeah.
We should have a good inventory.
Yeah.
I
All right, Izzy, what else we got?
I got a question going back to market. I get that where the market is between prices coming down a little bit when selling, and yet interest rates are still a little higher. What would you say are pro-con list for buying new, trading to something a little bigger, or renovating if you are a young family? And there's a big difference between having 4 small kids and having 4 teenagers. And so for some people, the pressure is on to do something. They're hitting the ceiling.
So let's take Izzy as the example, okay?
I think he might be asking a personal
Izzy's
question.
The example here. Izzy's got a great house, but you probably you need a little more room. You're right there at that point of, okay, do I remodel? Do I just sell it and buy something new? What do I do?
Yeah. What are the pros, cons there? Because as far as I know, construction cost for reno isn't really dropped since pandemic either. Those prices held.
It hadn't dropped a bit. Reeves, what does he do?
Well, it's expensive to renovate, and I think you have some good answers to this question, Robert. But, I think the two things that immediately come to my mind is one, does the individual who's in this situation, do they have access to capital to do the improvements? Because capital cash is a big thing. And it may be cash in hand, or it may be the ability to get a home equity loan, that type of thing. So you have to be able to have that cash to be able to do that. But secondly, you don't want to go invest $100,000 in a house and then way overprice yourself with the neighborhood.
Right.
And so you have to understand, okay, if I'm going to go spend $100,000 on a kitchen and bathroom renovation, and I'm taking my house from a $275 to $425 value after the renovations, but no other houses get.
Yeah, can the neighborhood handle that?
Can the neighborhood handle a $425?
That's the big question. The first big question. Yeah.
Yeah, and then what's the practical? It's expensive to move. I mean, we talk about it all the time, but I mean, it's not. People have to move, and I don't want to talk someone into moving that doesn't have to move, because there's always going to be enough business. So if you don't need to move, don't, because it's expensive to move. But just understanding all the cost of moving versus all the cost of renovating, does it meet your needs versus maybe you just leave the house you're in where it's at, and you can get into a better situation by just finding something completely different. So there's a lot of factors that go into it.
Yeah, there really is. I feel like we're maybe competing with Dave Ramsey's podcast now a little bit, Like that felt very Dave Ramsey-ish, which was good. That's impressive.
I'm very sorry, Robert. I know he's not your favorite guy.
No,
and
I like Dave.
Dave's right about 90% of the time.
Yeah. Dave runs a little too tight for me.
Well,
you got to loosen up a hair.
I think he's got in his mind the average American, which is why he's probably trying to get them to go way tight.
They're probably already too loose.
They're probably too loose.
You're right.
But yeah, he is a little tight in some spots. No
Yeah.
question. No
The
question.
thing though, I think we're happy if we got somebody that is thinking that, Izzy, we're happy to. I think probably it's best for us to go actually meet at the house and look at it, and then we could kind of talk through it and help, because when it's your house and you're in it, you need somebody from the outside looking in to just help you big picture see the right move.
Yeah, that makes
I
good
keep
sense.
leaning on for you though, Izzy. I keep leaning on remodel.
Yeah, well, I like the position next to the rail trail, and capital's there. We thought about moving, but it's hard to move from a rate under 3.
Ooh, that's another factor.
That
We
is-
bought right at the pandemic, where it took 3 weeks to get an inspector out and everybody was masked up, but the rates were so low right at the start of the pandemic.
That's another reason why there's not that many buyers in the market right now.
It's
'Cause you got the
100%.
Izzy's of the world at 3%.
It's
If
your
you would-
fault, Izzy.
Yeah.
It is your fault.
If your rate sucked, you'd be moving.
Yeah, yeah, it would be a no-brainer. Why build a kitchen when you can get the right one and one more bedroom? And but we like the location and we love the rate.
Which is interesting because a couple of months ago on the podcast, I talked about how rates, people are talking about they're going to come down. And we've seen that a little bit, but I don't think they're ever getting
No, not back to that.
back to that.
If they
And,
do, there's something bad
yeah, it's
wrong.
not good.
Yeah.
Do we want another pandemic? Do we want China throwing another virus at us?
For 2.5% rates.
Maybe an AI invasion?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't think we want that.
What will we sell our soul for? That's the question.
Oh, man, I tell you.
Now we're going philosophy. You've switched podcasts again.
I tell you though, I was talking to a friend of mine and he's moving and he's all stressed out and he's like, just letting it all fluster him. But I'm like, as a human, if we aren't progressing and doing new things, we kind of lose our drive. Like that, and I think that's why people move even if they don't need to, because that's just how we are. We need to progress. We need new things, and it's healthy and it's good.
It is healthy. We're listening. I'm sure you heard this comment because we listen to the same All In podcast. And the guys on the podcast were talking about a buddy of theirs who retired at 27 because he was, I don't know if it was Tesla or some AI company, and he cashed out and he can retire. And they were like, well, good for him. He's retired at 25. What's he going to do? Because if he doesn't do anything, he might as well be dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
You've
right.
You've got to drive. You've got to progress. I want to go back to what Izzy said though, because one of the things we love to do when a prospective seller calls us to talk about listing their home is we love to sit with them and hear the story of their home. At the foundation of what we do, we market property.
Yeah.
And we have to tell the story, and every house has a story. And I think that's one of the things that we love to do. And I think, quite honestly, if I can say this, I think we do it exceptionally well.
Yeah.
Is telling the unique story of each home we list and why it can be attractive to the next buyer. So
Yeah, it's always super interesting to me when we get a new home listed, like, okay, what buyer, the right person is attracted to that home and then buys it, and that's the home for them.
yeah.
And, it's just so interesting to me how life just works that way.
Yeah, yeah. And when a family's been in a home for a while, there's certain things about the home that really are incredibly personal and intimate, and it's why they love the home. And so to hear them tell those stories and be able to cast that in an appropriate way through our marketing efforts, I think that's really what kind of helps set us apart in the market, and why when the market is trying to slow down and it's not at its greatest right now, we're still able to have a really great business.
Yeah. It's a, I feel blessed every day we get to do what we do.
That's right.
And I think
That's awesome.
combining that, the advanced marketing, and then the relationship, because what I'm hearing you saying is that in somebody in my shoes, or anybody's shoes really, while houses may have some similarities, people are different. Their motivations to buy and sell are different. Their wisdom on whether they should buy or sell is different. And kudos to you guys, because we've been on location and shooting photo or video for houses and seen you guys sit down and take 25 minutes at the kitchen table with a client. And I'm just pointing my camera at stuff and shooting, but you're connecting.
Working on the gimbal, trying to get that
gimbal balanced. But kudos to you guys. You live by that, because there's a lot that doesn't have to be done. You could get in, run and gun marketing a property in 20 minutes, and instead spend the extra 30 at the kitchen table with the buyer or seller, and have some relationship is what you just don't get.
Well, I think, when I was thinking about going into real estate and several people recommended Greystone, that was immediately what stood out to me with Robert and Kevin and the Greystone team, is they have the heart of a servant and they have the heart of a teacher. And so when you take that philosophy and that attitude to every client, and you're there to serve them. You're not there to serve yourself, and you're there to help teach them from the expertise we have with real estate, and then help them make an informed decision. It's really special, and I just give Robert and Kevin and the whole Greystone team a lot of credit, because that, I think, does set us apart, and I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah,
Izzy.
we got to give Izzy a bonus. Izzy,
Yeah.
you're getting a big bonus. Well, I always enjoy the episodes we get to just kind of sit and talk and, just see what comes out.
Yeah, so I mean, this is episode 8.
8. We've made it.
It's
So are we
kind of-
done? Is this it?
I think we're retired.
We just shut her down.
It's over. No, we're gonna keep going.
Okay.
I mean, this is a lot of fun. In fact, but I do think we probably need to give a couple of shout outs.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Because we do. We have some people that are really into it, which is awesome. That's what'll keep us going.
It will.
Because if we get 20 views a week or something, I'm quitting with this. But we don't. It's growing.
It's definitely growing. So the
Yeah.
Murphy boys, the Naturally Outdoor guys,
Yeah, they're awesome.
they are awesome. And I've got pictures of those dudes actually sitting around watching our podcast.
Talon sent me that.
Yeah, my oldest is like, Dad, these guys actually like your podcast.
I think he's
So-
surprised. He is surprised. He's shocked.
Devin, Nils, Murphy, Peter, great job. Thank you guys you get our shout out for being our biggest fanboys.
Yeah, that's
So
awesome. I was
far-
asking you earlier, I was like, how many Naturally Outdoors boys are there?
Well, there's 6 of them in total.
6.
Do you guys have fan girls too?
God, I hope so. Do we?
Oh, I think we got
Probably
some-
our kids, our girls,
Well, I mean, when you talk about we got to be careful
our
here.
moms,
But
our moms.
But Catherine and Linda, they are the shout out for
Yes,
the biggest
thank you, guys.
fangirls. Without them, I don't think anybody would comment on our.
no.
post.
We got yeah. We'll keep doing it just for them.
Yeah,
If
I mean,
if that's the only 2 people watching, it's worth it.
if Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy.
No, I tell you, it's awesome to have our moms here involved in our life still and in town with us.
Well, we're
and-
kind of joking about it, but it is.
It's
You're
awesome.
right. It is an incredible blessing to have the support we do from our families, from our moms, from our dads. An absolute
It's
blessing.
the only way we're able to do what we do every week.
Yeah.
All right, I enjoyed it. Have a good one. All right, we've got the next generation of Greystone here. We wanted to just let them just say what's on their mind, tell us a little bit about what they're thinking on real estate. This gives you guys a snapshot of what's to come. Reeves and I, we're over the hill. I don't know how much longer we got.
What is the perfect house that y'all could ever live in?
A big one?
Big house. What
Like-
color would it be?
Rainbow?
Rainbow.
Oh, that would be nice.
Rainbow house.
I got a big question for you. I need some help with. I've got somebody who's trying to get some repairs done on the house that they want to buy. It's $6,000. And they're trying to decide if they want to back out of the contract or stay in the contract. Should they buy the house or should they not buy the house?
Buy the house.
Why should they buy the house? It's going to cost them $6,000 to repair the stuff that's wrong with it.
For the future.
How about that wisdom? He is Izzy Markle's son.
So if you had a big rainbow house that was beautiful,
Oh yeah.
what would you sell us that house for?
50.
50.
Wait.
Nice.
$50 or like $50,000? Yeah. 10,000.